Still, at the end, you feel the serves are kind of limiting what she can, her overall game.
Right. It's kind of interesting on the women's tour how it seems to be an issue in quite a few players' games. Actually, tonight we have Venus. She's an incredible serve. You see the success that she's had at Wimbledon, having 5 titles there, and you know, I believe she has the record for the fastest serve at all of the 4 different Grand Slams. I think she's served around 129, which is really incredible. I think having a big serve is so helpful in the game, given that it's the first point that the first ball that goes out of. You know, I think we'll see tonight in tonight's match with Venus against Caroline. You know, the difference in their strengths in serve, and I think Caroline's more of pretty mentally tough. I think she's pretty known for her tenacity on the court. You know, she's known a little bit to be a counterpuncher, but you know, she has some good aggressive plays as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the 2 players match up.
15-30.
Well, between these 2 players, they've played 4 times before. All 4 matches won by Venus Williams. So this is a good opportunity for Caroline to get her first win against Venus here in Hong Kong.
Just a reminder to the viewers at home, this match has been shortened to a 1-set match due to a rain delay earlier this afternoon. So originally best of 3, now cut down to 1 set. Really important for the girls to get off to a good start.
40-30.
Wozniacki is showing her great lateral movement there at that point. She's getting to the ball very quickly. Always balanced.
Game your first game.
That's a good hold for Caroline Wozniacki. After a bit of a shaky start, threw in a double fault, down to south, down 15-30. Comes back strong with the big first serve. And Amber, then do you think there's when you were training at Stanford for the college tennis, much of the time in the training session has it been devoted to serves, or do you think that was a place where you probably lacked a little bit of practice time as well? Just trying to gather the general training pattern of the women as we see serving here.
You know, I think our practices at Stanford weren't geared to serve necessarily, and we spent the normal amount of time on serve, and I don't think we necessarily overdid it, nor did we underdo it. But I think it's always good. One of my old coaches, Elliot Telscher, always used to say that, you know, you got to hit more and more serves. So he would always make me practice an extra 20 minutes of serves after every practice. So, you know, I think it's always helpful to concentrate on that part of your game.
Well, he was a great player, and his game was revolved around the serve of his. And apart from the serve that differentiates the better players from the rest of the field, as we see these 2 ladies here, it's their ability and their willingness to approach the net, as we see Caroline working into the net there, putting the pressure on Venus.
No,
often you see the players these days a bit one-dimensional, staying back. That's a 113-mile serve down the middle for an ace by Venus Williams. And compare that to Zhang Ji, who was averaging about 85 to 90 miles per hour. That's just a big difference. Great advantage for Venus was to have.
I think a key thing in this match is going to be for Caroline to keep the Baltic Mrs. forehand. Her backhand has been such a strength over the years. really, I mean, you see that backhand down the line there. You see her in so many different matches, just always so solid on that backhand.
Well, Steve and I were discussing earlier, most women, a huge difference between the men's tour and the women's tour is that in the men's game, generally the forehand is the major weapon for the players.
One game.
In the women's tour, you find most of the top players have very good backhands. Azarenka, Venus. Yesterday we watched Zvonareva play, and they all have very good backhands. So why do you think that's there's that difference?
I don't have an answer for you on that one.
If you think there's a difference, that's
no,
just
there
our
is.
opinion.
You know, a lot of the women do have better backhands. I don't know if it's a strength thing because they feel more
15.
comfortable. Most of them have two hands on that side. I'm not quite sure, but it is true. But I unfortunately don't have an answer for you on that one. I myself am much more comfortable with my backhand side as well.
Yeah, that proves my point.
30-love.
That's another part of Venus's game that really keeps the pressure on her opponents. Just the willingness to step in and crunch that return of serve.
Well, I think Wozniacki is listening to Ember's advice, going directly to Venus' forehand, causing that error. 3 game points.
Game Europe. Europe leads by 2 games to 1.
A much more comfortable service game for Wozniacki, holding comfortably to take a 2-1 lead in this and only set at the Hong Kong Tennis Classic 2010. Through a few technological changes as well. I think at one stage he was using a longer racket, being one of the shorter players on tour. He was obviously very fast around the court, number 2 in the world. I think it was his top ranking.
Right.
And a great counter puncher, and really had to think well on court. And at one stage he really worked on I think on his fitness and on strengthening his serve, and also dabbled with the length of the tennis racket.
Yeah, I think the longer racket, he really felt like it helped his serve and gave a bit more reach. Ever since then, he's been playing with a longer racket. I mean, just for him and his family, technology they really have tennis down to a science. They have particular specs for the rackets that they play with. He has a special drink he drinks on the court to give him energy. They're very much about routine. I think they learned so much over the years and really refined everything they felt it took to be a champion in terms of the technology, and the diet and exercise side.
And Michael's parents are both professors, if I remember correctly. Or teachers.
His father was an